I'm here, I promise. Hey, this is the Katniss. And, mom. We are returning to our life. Oh, wait, no. I'm about to say it backwards. Beginnings and always. Okay. I'm just waiting for the game to load. I'm also changing the music. Yeah, I don't know why it randomly cut my desktop audio just now. But I am fixing it. Do not worry, do not worry. Turn that down a little bit. Let me just make sure that the music's a bit lower than me. But not too low to where you can't hear it, so. Alrighty. Here we are. Here we are. Let me stop. Focus. Okay. The stream is starting. Officially. So again, hey, this is Katniss. And welcome back to our life, beginnings and always. Yeah. So if I remember correctly, we have finished all preparations for our wedding. So I want to say the next couple of scenes will probably be whatever tiny bit of in-between prep we'll have. Followed by said webbing. So, yes. And I will be munching on some ice during, so excuse the noise in advance.
Self-voicing enabled. Xavier, thanks again for coming to us for your wedding. We'll make the desserts of your dreams. You worked through the outstanding specifics of your order with Xavier, who was determined to get everything right for your big day and had an answer ready for everything you could throw at them. Once the final arrangements had been confirmed, you left the bakery feeling confident that your wedding cake was going to be just wonderful. Cove, naturally, shared your optimism completely. As per usual, you, Cove, and Baxter met up on another day for another session. A few light-hearted words were exchanged as Baxter watched the two of you amusedly. Cove's mood was still shining, and Baxter could tell.
So?
Baxter, I take it the cake designing went well. Like a child who was excited to show their latest work of crayon art to their teacher, Cove shared the news with pure happiness. Cove, it's gonna be delicious. Baxter, I'm so pleased to hear that. With all of the work, planning, and effort a thing of the past, you were having your final appointment with Baxter. The two of you situated yourselves on the purple couch in your normal spots, though Cove was unable to treat the visit as anything near normal. His legs had stiffened from nervousness so badly, the bend in his knees was like the snap of two branches. He nearly fell onto the cushion.
Hubin, are you good? Like, what's happening? You were just excited because you were talking about the cake, and now you breaking up on me? Like, what's going on?
Baxter, on the complete opposite end of the comfort spectrum from Cove, smiled with a natural ease. Baxter, well, then, this is the last time we're likely to see each other until the day of your wedding. Are you feeling prepared?
What do you mean? The last time we'll see you until the day of our wedding. Who the hell said you were invited? You're just the planner. Just because you help plan it does not mean you automatically get an invite. A little presumptuous, don't you think? Baxter.
Cove, I can't wait to show you. Cove, I really think you'll like it.
Am I feeling prepared?
Yes.
Honestly.
Cove didn't react whatsoever, not to Baxter or you. He was frozen solid.
Oh my goodness.
Baxter ran his hands along the inside edge of his jacket, and placed his most encouraging smile on his face.
To be
Baxter,
honest,
in all honesty, you've both done beautifully. Your wedding will be an event to be proud of, and I'll be there to make certain it flows smoothly.
What, you running security? Cause what do you mean? Cause like you're the planner, but like you like who like what? I'm confused. I am confused. Cause who said you were doing all that? I do not recall us speaking of you having some sort of important role in our wedding aside from helping us plan it. So what the fuck are you talking about? I am Confucius. Confucius.
Baxter, all you need to do now is enjoy yourselves. Each line Baxter spoke chipped away at the frosted shell around Cove, until it cracked. Your fiancé replied in a small voice. Cove, thank you. Sage, that's what I like to hear, thank you. Baxter, Now. Having broken the ice, Baxter easily shifted back into work mode. He touched the tips of his fingers to a pile of papers on the desk to his side.
I'm confused, cause like, who, like, I don't know who said he was doing all this, for real. Because unless that was a conversation that him and Cove had and I just wasn't involved, where is he getting this information?
Also, hi Nelly. Welcome to the screen.
Oh my goodness, there's 4 peeps and it didn't even tell me. Jeez. But yeah, still. Who are you? And Why do you think you're gonna be sticking your nose all in my webbing, bro? What the hell?
Baxter, I've got the details for the hotel for you here. I was able to book 2 standard, single bedrooms for you and your parties to use to get ready in.
I was about to say, like, what do you mean you booked us a hotel? Which means that you probably have a key, which I am not comfortable with. My poor Sweetie. He's going through it right now. Maybe we should circle back to talking about the cake so he'll be happy again.
Baxter, the hotel is minutes from the ceremony venue, so you won't need to make a trip out there the morning of.
Cool. Thanks.
Not
Cool.
bad.
Thanks, Baxter. You're good at this. Cove's admittance was almost embarrassed. He scratched at his cheek and shared a look with you.
Also, how is the music coming through versus like the game being like read verbally? Because if it's too high, I'll lower it just a little bit more. But if it's too low, I can bump it up a teeny weeny bit. But only a teeny weeny bit. Because I don't want it to be too loud either. Because I don't want it to be louder than me. But I also don't want to be too much louder than the game either. You know what I mean?
You remember how hard of a time the two of you had getting a room when you had come into Sunset Bird for your mom's anniversary. It was an ordeal.
Really?
Cove chuckled, knowing you were reminiscing over the same experience.
Huh. I mean, I'm like right on top of my mic, so I don't know. Should I tilt it up, maybe? I don't know. Oh my gosh, no. My blow out your speakers. Turn it down. Turn it down. Cause like when I listen back on my stream, like later on, like I sound loud enough. So like I'm confused. I don't know. I think your audio's just broken or something.
Baxter accepted the compliment earnestly without prying. He leaned an elbow against his chair's armrest and propped his head up against his hand.
Glad
Baxter,
to hear it.
I'm glad to hear that. I do strive to be.
Blah blah blah. Shut up.
He continued to relax, following up his prior motion with the cross of his legs. Baxter, and I very much appreciate your great patience with the series of questions throughout this experience. I do still have yet one more topic I'd like to discuss.
Like what?
Baxter, when you leave here, the wedding planning is over. Do either of you have an opinion on seeing your beloved before the ceremony?
I mean, we were walking down together, right? So it would make sense for us to see each other before the actual ceremony.
Cove, That was not something Cove had considered. He didn't have words to back up the hasty interruption. Baxter smoothed it over by elaborating. Baxter, I know some couples follow a tradition of completely cutting contact in the lead up to the wedding, so it's a reuniting when they come together for the ceremony.
Yeah, that's like the standard, but...
Baxter, others stay apart physically, though communicate over the phone, and there are those who don't participate in that whatsoever and stay with one another. This time Cove gave himself space to consider it, letting the concept sink in.
I
Cove,
don't know.
I mean, I didn't have plans to be away from Sage. You know, I like being around her when that's an option. Cove, but I guess maybe we could do that. If it's a special thing for weddings.
Oh, don't look so disappointed. He's like, if it's a wedding thing, like, I guess we could do. No, we don't have to. What, you guys aren't staying apart, or you are staying apart? Sticking? But how is he gonna be surprised at the wedding dress if he sees you, Ernie?
He laughed breathily and sent Baxter a question of his own. Cove, are you gonna make fun of me for being clingy now?
Never.
Baxter, never.
Why did you say it like that? Did you hear how he just drew it out? Like, never. Like, bruh, who are you? Stop being fucking weird. Like, who is this guy? I guess that's true. You right. I guess I mostly want him to be surprised by the wedding dress. I know I'm gonna be surprised, cause I'll actually get to see it. But I already know you gonna look good as fuck. But still, I can't wait to see it. I know you're gonna look super pretty. Oh yes.
Cove, oh. Okay.
You should really change your stance. Hey. Teasing my husband is only for people he's actually cool with. I still don't like you. Cove might have warmed up to you ever so slightly, but that still don't mean that you get a pass from me to tease my husband. Well, let's see. But he's definitely clingy. Like, huh? I'm clingy as hell
That's
too.
lucky for the both of us. I'm clingy too.
Like, have you seen him? Look at that fucking face. That's mine, son.
That's lucky for. In disbelief, Cove's eyes bounced back and forth between you and your planner. He was able to express his want to always be around you, and no one in the room had given him a hard time for it. Cove absolutely beamed at that revelation. It was a pre-wedding miracle.
Like you didn't know this from the giddy up. Literally, just thinking of it from the outside in. Your partner has somewhat of a habit of low-key breaking into your bedroom late in the evening just to spend time with you, and they've never given you shit for it. In fact, it's actually turned into multiple sleepovers and it's become a habit. But you didn't think that your partner was also clingy? Question mark. Like, how is this surprising to hear? I'm confused. I'm confused.
You were charmed by both his overt affection for you and by how cute he genuinely was.
More than fucking that. Oh my god. It's more than that. But yes, putting it lightly. Serial killer. No. I mean, honestly, if Ghostface had a face like Cove's, take me now.
But you made an effort to not be entirely distracted, and you gave an answer to the question at hand.
I mean, we're gonna see each other because we're going to walk down the aisle together. But should we be together prior to? Literally. Like, if he really wanted to, he could. I just tilt my head up and be like, all right, just go for it. Right here. Literally. Let me think it over. If we're gonna walk down the aisle together anyway, wants to stay together though? True. I'm so curious. I'm so curious to see what his reaction would be to us not being in a room, but us just talking over the phone. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like he would just, like, be all melty and be like, oh, I miss you so much, and blah, blah, blah. Like, like, I feel like he would just do something stupid cute like that, honestly.
Save over, save.
I just feel like he'd probably do something like that, but we'll go with the initial sharing because that is what he wants.
Cove.
And I'm cool with that.
I wanted to share a room with you. Cove. Yes, definitely, obviously.
So excited.
Cove. I'm glad you asked cause, yeah, I am a little clingy.
A little's not the word, but sure. If that makes you feel better, Humpy.
Cove shuffled the balls of his feet against the carpet, all the while glancing over at you bashfully.
I love him though.
You held on to his sweet gaze, feeling grateful knowing that you wouldn't have to go without that any time soon. Off to the side, Baxter watched the two of you from his spot on the office
Jealous?
chair. The fondness in his expression for you and Cove had tipped past his usual professional distance.
Stop fucking looking at me. You're making me uncomfortable. Why are you looking at me? I am giving the oogly googly eyes to my husband to be. And you're looking at me, looking at him, looking at him, looking at me. What the fuck are you looking at, Baxter? Mind your business. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Let me stop. Is this how you get your sick kicks? Badass. This man trying to repress a whole tent just watching us be in love right now. Wishing it was him. Lonely. Let me stop. Let me stop. That's mean as fuck. Let me stop. I can't breathe. Ow. Ow, it hurts. Oh my god. Ooh, fuck. My stomach hurts. My back hurts.
Not wanting to ruin the moment, he spoke in a soft voice.
Perfect.
Baxter, very good. Everything is settled then. From there, the rest of the meeting was spent going over final details and the whole plan step by step. Baxter wanted to make sure you were on the same page and prepared for the events ahead. He shared amusing anecdotes of past weddings he'd planned, some highlighted actual potential pitfalls you could intentionally avoid, and others were one in a million debacles. The most unbelievable was a story of a particular orchard ceremony from the year before. The stage was set with flowers, a walkway, seating, and wooden arch at the end. He was looking on in a final survey, primed for the guests to arrive, when an out-of-control truck with a back end full of apples drove straight through. The driver was unharmed when he got the truck to stop, and the couple were still married, albeit in a much simpler arrangement, but Baxter distantly remembers the almost comedic surrealness of it. Seeing a completed wedding and then having it flattened back to the ground in the blink of an eye was something he never expected, or hoped, to experience. While the planner chuckled in recollection, Cove leaned over to ask if you thought there'd be any reason a fruit truck might have to be at your venue. You were pretty sure there wasn't. The stories and laughter continued until the end of the appointment.
Alright, I'm good now. I needed to take a second. My body hurt from laughing.
It reminded you of the final day of class before summer vacation. Technically you were still in school, but everyone was eager for the fun to begin. Then goodbyes were exchanged as usual, with promises to see each other soon like there had been every time you'd visited. However, when you left the office, you had to wonder if you would ever go back there again. When you saw Baxter next, it would be at the wedding location. Maybe you would return someday, if you and Cove decided to renew your vows and needed a planner again.
Really? Maybe we'll go with a different planner next time. I suppose for the sake of the plot.
Or maybe you could visit just as friends and not as customers. Under a wide starry sky, you and Cove hopped into his car to head back. Despite having done it many times before, it felt completely different that time. After the click of seat belts being snapped into place, there was a silence in the cab. None of the boisterousness from minutes ago had come along with you.
No?
Cove's expression was pensive as he rounded the curb and got the car out onto the street. A gentle rumbling resonated over you from wheels rolling across tarmac.
Tarmac!
Cove, it. That was the only word he managed to articulate before his mouth clamped up tight again. He had an internal struggle made visible, and ultimately he made enough peace with it to finally smile. Cove, right now I have a lot going in my head, you probably guessed that. Cove, there's so much I want to say to you about us and what's happened all of this. Cove, but, it would probably make more sense if I said it during the wedding, right? His voice dropped to a complete whisper, but his grip on the steering wheel intensified. Cove, it's so close now. Cove took in a deep breath through his nose, allowing his fingers to loosen again. That was followed by him answering his own question.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Pretend this didn't happen.
I'm thinking. It's either for me. Like, if I know that you want to say something, I'd rather you just say it. But I think rather than just saying it now, I think he wants a little more time to go over it in his head. So I'd rather save it to say probably during his vows during the wedding, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, come on, just tell me. In real life, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, just spill the beans. Let me know. What's on your mind?
Dang it.
But in this instance, since he would rather wait to tell me, that's definitely fine.
I can wait for you. Cove, thanks. You're always nice to me. That warmed you up inside. Nothing felt better than knowing he could rely on you. Cove, but there's a lot of other things I'm thinking about too.
Oh.
Cove, like the fact that these are the last moments of our lives together not being married.
Yeah?
Cove, after this I'll be your husband and you'll be my wife. Unbelievable. I love you, Cove. Cove, I love you too.
He's such a sweet pea. Look at him. I'm so cute.
Twisting in your seat, you let the side of your face rest against the back of the chair.
And then just be a creep and just watch him while it dries.
You rested there at the end of such a long project, watching your almost husband as he continued to drive ahead.
Exactly. Because what the hell else would you do after a moment like that? I'ma sit like a creep in the passenger seat and I'ma stare at my husband.
The two of you were moving forward, full of hope and anticipation for the very near future. After days, weeks, years, of waiting to commit yourself to the love of your life, the morning of your wedding arrived.
It's happening!
It was a realization that hit you as you laid in a dark hotel room. You were fully awake and full of excitement. You were awake and feeling peaceful.
Like, for me, if it were my actual love of my life, like, for real. No cap. Like, 100%. If it were me in this situation, which in a way it is, I would be happy as hell. I'd definitely be hella cozy, because I do like me some cuddles. But I would also be pretty peaceful. Because, you know, my man is right here beside me. And, you know, I would just be feeling all cute and junk. So I'd be feeling pretty at ease, pretty peaceful. Definitely not feeling like I need to burn the world down for whatever reason.
You weren't able to tell exactly how long you'd been up at that point. There'd been a lot going through your mind, and being cuddled up next to Cove hadn't helped.
Aww.
His shining aquamarine eyes were open. You wondered when he had woken up, too. It could have been just then, or he might have been lost in his own imaginations for a while himself. But when your gazes met, you became everything he was immersed with.
Hi, honey.
His hand moved from its placement against your back up to the nape of your neck and then brushed past your ear and against your cheek. Cove's fingers drifted over your skin warmly, gently, and completely steady. They flowed like a wave from a summer sea. Of course, you'd known Cove for more than long enough to be aware that this tranquility wouldn't last.
Oh? I thought I was the deviant here. Is that not the case? Question mark.
Once you officially got up for the day and you'd have to prepare for the ceremony, he would inevitably become, in the most complimentary way you could think of it, a panicked mess.
Oh. That did not go the way I thought it was going to. Yes, you are. You're in the 30 and up club. 25 plus. You're allowed to be here.
But for as long as it was only you and only him hidden away together under the sheets, those worries couldn't reach him. You were each other's shelter.
Yeah.
It hadn't ceased to marvel you the way sharing a bed had become one of Cove's greatest sources of comfort after years of it being one of his biggest struggles. It was wonderful. In a soft voice, the very soon-to-be Cove Comet Joe Holden finally spoke.
You know what? That actually sounds really fucking cool. Honestly. Our names sound so good together.
Cove, congratulations on your wedding.
Should I congratulate him back? Or should I just... I don't know. It's too late. I don't think I made a save split for that. Or maybe I did. Did I? I don't remember actually. I don't think I did a save split for separate rooms. I might not have. Y'all said to pick the what's it called? You said to pick together. And that's also what he wanted. I'm going with the plot. I'm going with the plot. I'm going with the plot. Oh my gosh. Damn.
I'm going with the plot.
So it's too late now. But I kind of want to see the different reactions here. We went over this already. What?
Oh,
We've
say-
already been over this.
oh,
We're both
say-
clingy messes. This is not news. But here, let's see. I want to see his reaction to... If it were me, my husband is laying right beside me, and he congratulates me on our wedding, not just my wedding, our wedding. What would I tell him after that? My initial reaction would definitely be good morning, because obviously it's the morning of our wedding. But I would also want to tell him that I can't wait to see him in his suit. Because my husband, if it were an option in game, this man would be wearing a corset vest. You'll hear me. I saw a corset vest on Instagram one time, right? And men think women look good in corsets. A corset vest on a man? Don't let me see him. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. Because those look fucking good, son. Like, got me foaming at the mouth over here. Them things look good. And my husband looks good. Okay? He got a nice body. Okay? I know Cove would look fucking banging in a corset vest, bro. With those embroidered details on the front. And that shit cinched and packed up in the back. Boy. He wouldn't make it all the way down that aisle. I'd have my hands all over him. My God. Like. I need some water. I need some water. Oh my God. Where's my emergency water bottle? Emergency! 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 We me. That might not have helped, but I feel like inside it helped a little bit. Let me stop. Alright. I want to see what his reaction
I'm really
is.
looking forward to seeing you in your suit today. Cove, yeah,
Not him. I already took my sip of water, bro. That was multiple sips. And you gonna sit here and raise your eyebrow with me? Like, yeah? Fuck yeah, what you mean, yeah? Bruh. You about to make me cut this stream off. Cove James. Call me Joe Holden. Keep it up. You not gonna make it to the ceremony. You better cut it out. You better cut it out.
he squished his face deeper in the pillow shyly.
He's so fucking cute, bro. This game is fucking amazing.
Cove, I'm excited to see you, too.
This game got me geeking for real. Oh my god. Boy.
You leaned in and kissed him on the lips.
I'm not even gonna say what I was thinking just now. I'm not gonna keep it PG because this is my stream. And this is a 21 plus channel. Not even 18 plus, it's 21 plus. Cause we be drinking drinks. And partaking in things sometimes. But still. It's the option that I'm thinking of, the one that immediately went into my head is not in the list. So he my dork though. And I love him.
Cove hummed sweetly, pressing his mouth into the touch. It was a lovely moment to share, both mundane and incredibly special in its own way.
Yeah.
But then Cove glanced past you into the distance, and he gave a deep sigh. While bringing up a hand to pull down at the skin of his cheek, he began to whisper. Cove, it's almost time.
Yeah, I guess it is, huh?
You twisted your head back. Sat on the side table next to the bed was the stock standard digital clock, flashing the current hour and minute in bright red lines. Cove was right, you were going to have to get up if you didn't want to be late or show up to your wedding in pajamas. By the forlorn look on Cove's face, he would have honestly considered standing in front of all your friends and family in pink striped shorts if it meant he could have stayed.
I need to see you in this vest. I'm invested. I need to see it. I know it's not gonna be what I'm picturing. I know it for goddamn sure ain't gonna be a corset vest. But still, I need to see it. I got goosebumps. I'm excited.
Eventually, his eyes let go of the clock and his attention came back to you. Watching you watch him had let Cove basically read your thoughts. He developed a bent smile before speaking again.
He's so fucking cute, bro.
Cove, would it be wrong to say 5 more minutes today of all days?
No. Honestly, no. I'm stuck again. I don't know. It's between the last two. Me poking fun at him about him being a morning person, which I don't think he is. I think he kind of likes sleeping in. But then again, he would normally come get me like every morning, so like I don't know. And or not saying anything and just getting him up and ready. In real life, my reaction would be the bottom one. You know what? Nah, I'm going for the bottom one.
You lovingly, but firmly, nudged him towards the edge of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Cove gave an obligatory pout before switching back to a smile. He flipped the covers up and pushed himself into a sitting position. Cove then dropped his legs down off the mattress, so his bare feet were against the floor.
Yeah.
Cove, my party is gonna meet me in the other room, you and your party can get ready in this one. After making it halfway up, he stalled and stared at the ceiling. You lifted yourself to be settled more upright. Sage, alright. Cove, yeah.
We're only gonna be apart for like, what, 5 minutes?
Cove's yeah wasn't directed at anything in particular. He was grasping to fill space, to buy time while he sorted his thoughts. Cove, we're getting married. I'm going to marry you.
Uh-huh. You are, yeah.
The gravity of the occasion fell on Cove heavier and heavier as he vocalized it. His hands gripped the sheet, as if bracing himself from the weight. Cove, my stomach hurts.
Oh, honey. His pout gets me every fucking time. It's so cute. Oh my goodness.
Sage, Cove.
It's gonna be okay.
You weren't able to say another word before he jumped from the bed and sped around the full edge of it to stand in front of you on the opposite side.
Yes? Question mark?
But he didn't stand still, his weight shifting from his heels to the tips of his toes in an uneven rocking motion. Cove had found thoughts to share and let them out in rapid fire. Cove, I have to go. Right now. I'm getting nervous, it's gonna get worse. But I want to do this. More than anything else.
Oh, honey. Okay.
While you had been prepared for this to happen, your heart still felt squeezed seeing it. Driven equally from fear and determination, Cove abandoned the bed completely and piled whatever he thought he might need into his hands to make a single trip across the hall.
Oh my goodness, why do I feel like he might collapse? Or something? I just start crying, oh my gosh, now I'm kind of worried.
His phone, charger, water bottle, suitcase, overnight bag, a pair of shoes. All of it was pressed against his chest or thrown over his shoulders. It was an impressive feat.
Just like a man, one trip. Just like me, one trip if I can help it.
Cove, bye. I love you.
I love you too. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You waved him off supportively. Cove came around the bed where you sat once more and awkwardly bent his knees down to give you a kiss. You were careful not to knock anything out of his grip as you kissed him in return. He moved away without letting himself linger on it, though it had put a grin back on his face.
Good.
Then your fiancé strode briskly over to the door, yanked it open, and exited the room, managing to hold everything in arms, and himself, together.
We were going to be together. Why are there still other options for us to separate? We're just getting dressed in separate rooms, but we're probably going to ride together because we're also walking down the aisle together. Or did the game forget? Did I forget? Question mark.
But thankfully, you wouldn't be apart for long. The room became completely quiet in an instant after Cove's whirlwind retreat. There was no point in lingering yourself, and you slipped out of the bed. Your clothes were hanging up against the door of the small hotel closet and you went over to check over the outfit. You gave your arms a good stretch, feeling pleased with the assessment. Everything felt perfect. From there, You went into the bathroom to brush your teeth and shower before anything else. Once clean and dry and half-dressed, you went back out into the main space of the hotel room. Your phone lit up with a new message, and you glanced at it. The wedding party had arrived, they were in the lobby. You put your own phone down to pick up the hotel's landline. When the desk manager answered, you explained the situation and they promised to lead the group to your room. The call ended simply. A short time later, a knock vibrated through the heavy front door. You answered it right away. Lee was there with a smile to greet you. The rest of the party filed in after. Congrats and hellos were exchanged as they passed.
What do you mean there's only like 2 people?
Sage, it's really nice to see you.
Honestly? The way I had it in my head, my character's hair was getting done by her mom's her whole life, really. So wouldn't it make sense for it to be done by one of her moms for her wedding? Because her cousin Lee doesn't have the same type of texture that she does, and her area of expertise is not cosmetology. So, and Derek obviously can't do black people's hair. He is a jock, if that. I doubt he knows absolutely anything about hair. So, and honestly, I don't know if I'd want a stylist. Like in real life, I honestly would either do it myself or I'd go to a shop and get it done prior to. Or if I still had contact with the person that I had do my hair a couple times before, and I love the way she did my hair, washed my shit and everything, it was perfect. I would like call someone I know to come do my hair for me for my wedding. But I think in this instance, I'm gonna do my own hair.
You had decided to do your own hair. And Lee would put on makeup for you.
Actually, canon-wise, in terms of my character, she doesn't wear makeup. So actually, not even on her wedding day, we're not doing makeup. Nah.
You did not need to put on makeup.
Nah.
Lee knew the arrangement and would make sure it stayed on track. You and your party got right to work, changing, primping, and polishing up for the occasion. You got yourself tucked, zipped, and buttoned into your stylish dress, when a series of rapid, but not especially loud, knocks struck the door.
Is that my oven?
Only a few people could come to the room without approval, and the sound was not Cove. There wasn't any of his usual notable pauses between knocks. That left one other main option, you thought, as your maid of honor went over to answer the door. There on the other side was your partner in this wedding journey, Baxter. His outfit looked as though he'd reverted back to his teenage self. It was all black.
What are you doing here? Who called this man? Who called him? And who told him to show up? What the fuck are you doing here? Go away! Jeez.
But you were aware that staff would be dressed top to bottom in dark shades, to be recognizable to the guests as employees and not as possible long-lost cousins twice removed. He offered his polite greetings of his own to you and your party.
Also, I'm currently in my wedding dress, right? Which means that this nigga saw me in my wedding dress before my husband did. And I'm not okay with that. Get the fuck out of my room. Get the fuck out. Aside from my man of honor being Derek, there wasn't supposed to be another man that saw me in this dress before my husband. Especially not fucking you. What the fuck?
Baxter, hello and a very good morning to you.
Whatever. Get out. Get out!
Sage, hi. Good morning.
Ah.
Baxter, you look incredible already, but don't fret, I won't interrupt the process for long.
What do you want?
Baxter,
How are you?
I'm here to check in. Is there anything you need?
I need you to get the fuck out. That's what I need. Second one. I'll go with that one.
You wouldn't happen to have a cove on you somewhere? The curve of his smile pulled ever so slightly higher. Baxter, unfortunately not.
Alright, well, you don't have the one thing I said I needed, so you can leave now.
Baxter, though, let me add, I also came in order to keep you informed on the wedding status.
Okay.
Sage, oh. A hopeful bent came through in your tone. Baxter, yes, the status is it's ready when you are. It should go off without a hitch.
Alright.
That was music to your ears. You were so grateful Baxter had gone to as much effort as he had for this.
He could have told me this from the opposite side of the door. In all honesty. In real life, my wedding planner, male or female, you're not seeing me before my husband. Because why are you here?
With absolute earnestness, Baxter wished you well.
Uh-huh. Okay, you can leave now. Bye.
Baxter, take care, Sage. I'll let you return to your preparation now.
Yes, please. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Baxter.
Sage, see you very soon.
Don't say that he's gonna show up again.
The light-hearted mood of wedding work swept back in with no further distractions.
I did my hair. I didn't do my makeup.
Lee did your nails. Your nails were short. For the paint, you went with that was specifically.
What color French tips? It's between black and blue. It's like, no, I'm even asking. You already know
Black.
that shit gonna be black.
Your party was there to get you through the whole morning of preparation. There were laughs, and a few tears, all happy. There was a time investment, however the look did eventually come together. The clothes and your hair were all set to what had been planned for the day. You glanced down at yourself, fully dressed to get married. You did a happy twirl.
Like, in real life, right? If I were in a position to have my wedding dress made up, custom, just the way I like pictured it in my head, I'm definitely twirling in that shit. That shit's gonna be cool as shit, dude. You would have never done ever see no gown like the one I would wear at my wedding if I could have it my way. I'd be doing twirls the whole night. Ain't no side stepping, ain't no left, ain't no right. All circles. 360s. That's it. All twirls, son.
You stood in the center of the room and, after a moment to yourself, the rest of the group surrounded you. Match a cake for the front.
Okay.
You stood in the center of. Lee, you've never looked better. That's saying something, just saying.
Wow.
Ma, you're all grown up.
Oh, look at my ma. Look at her dress.
Derek, yeah, you're gonna knock Cove right out.
Look at this man. His little shirt. Why are your sleeves so tight? You know what, actually? This nigga right here remind me of Bear. Nelly, this is how Bear's gonna show up to your wedding. Tight ass button up. Just cause he gonna try and turn his whole sleeve gonna tear off. Cause he's so swole. But like, oops. I should have got a bigger size. My bad. My muscles are just too big. They can't be contained in this shirt. But I wear a medium though. Like.
And then the moment had arrived. You didn't have to wait any longer.
Literally.
Your wedding was about to begin, and Cove would be there when you left the room.
Okay, let me finish this little bit, like this 1/2 bite of donut I got left. Cause I know I'm gonna start geeking as soon as I see this man again. So let me finish my donut first, while I mentally prepare myself. It was a glazed donut, by the way. I have a chocolate glazed donut, but it's after 7. Way after 7, so I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but at the same time, I'm ready.
Rapidly, you stepped out into the hallway where Cove was waiting.
Alright.
Cove was anxious, but the tension lessened in his shoulders the second he saw you. Having him there put a pep in your stride while you both made your way to the elevator. Together you went down to the lobby and exited through the hotel's front doors. A rental car was already standing by to bring you both to the Poppy Hill.
I don't get a reaction to him in my dress? Question mark? Hello? I don't get to see him in his suit? Question mark? I feel like the rental would definitely just be for the two of us. Like, it would be not a limo, but the rental would be being driven. Wait. The rental would be driven by someone else. Like, neither of us would be driving. We're getting taken to our wedding. And aside from that, the maid of honor and the man of honor, being my cousin and Cove's dad, they arrived separately from us. So why would they leave with us in the rental? They're supposed to arrive separately from us. So the rental car is just the two of us.
You and Cove slipped into the car.
Question mark.
Closing your eyes, you got comfortable and enjoyed the drive. There was plenty of legroom.
Like what now? What do you say?
Glancing out the window, Your eyebrows raised in surprise because you recognized just how far you were from the Poppy Hill. It would only be a few more minutes until everything you'd been working towards would finally come to fruition.
Ooh.
You were so joyful. The car couldn't get there soon enough. Grinning ear to ear, you were so ready for the ceremony to start. You felt a familiar warmth covering your hand. With a growing smile, you glanced over, already knowing the sight waiting for you.
Honey, look at him. I told you this man was gonna wear his hair out. I told you. I fucking called it. Oh my goodness. We aren't even out of the car yet. He's already crying. Oh. He's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Cove was delicately threading his fingers between your own. His aquamarine eyes bashfully slid up, meeting yours.
He's so cute. That's gonna be my husband, y'all. Oh my goodness.
You wanted to wrap your fingers around that electric sensation Cove had made you feel aglow with for years and hold it close to your chest, forever. Turning your hand around, you gripped him back. The corner of his mouth twitched and slightly curved. You had a good feeling that his mind was busy with the same enormous thoughts. Baxter wasn't kidding earlier when he said that the hotel was near the ceremony. The trip was already over and there wasn't another second to spare. Slowly, you exited the car, went forward, and finally took in the first sight of your ceremony. Poppy Hill. The quite literal backdrop of your childhood, forever nestled behind the home you grew up in. And the place where you found a sad little wavy-eyebrowed boy years ago.
Guys, it's happening!
The distant scent of the sea carried up on the wind mixed with the gentle floral fragrance from the poppies. It was comfort you couldn't get anywhere else. The ceremony's decorations consisted only of a white arch on the crest of the hill, but it didn't need anything more than that. Your hill was perfect just the way it was.
It looks so nice. And it's hella simple too. That's what's crazy. Like, it's not like super like bougie, extravagant and everything else. It's fairly simple and it still looks so fucking nice.
You stood on the precipice of your venue alone for only a moment. Cove breathed in deeply as he stepped up to your side.
Look at this man. Fuck, he look good, bro. Damn. These developers knew what the fuck they did, bro. Look at him. Oh my god.
Baxter, Cove, Sage.
There goes my good mood. What do you want? Oh my god. I can't even get 5 seconds alone. And then here you come.
Your planner had immediately been informed of your arrival and came to greet you right on schedule.
What?
Good
Baxter,
afternoon.
how good to see you again, and so soon after the last time. He tilted his head in your direction casually while chuckling.
What?
As simple as the comment was, you laughed along easily. It was a wonderful day, and every second was one to enjoy. Cove's face was tight and strained, some sounds murmured out but nothing intelligible.
Go away, you're making my husband nervous. Get out of here.
Luckily, Baxter understood completely and offered a reassuring smile to you both.
He just wants to be alone with me. Can you like scooch off somewhere, bro? We need a moment. Can we get that, Baxter? Or are you still gonna just be breathing down our necks the whole time? You don't need a babysitter, bro.
Then all presence of casualness for the day left Baxter's voice. A bright fire lit up his dark eyes.
What are you planning? What are you plotting?
Now,
Baxter, it's showtime. Let's get into our proper positions. Baxter, the wedding parties are being led up to the front where they'll stand by, while guests are getting directed to open places to stand in the audience area.
Okay.
does
Baxter,
that sound alright?
Sage, Cove, please go back further with me so you can be ready for the aisle walk. Having the relief of Cove being there at every stage, you let yourself be led away by Baxter. Cove followed Baxter's lead as well. You went back down the bend, and there was an eager hastiness to your pace. A corner was turned, separating you off from the main scene.
I know the voice said it wrong, but I'm just like, is that actually how that's pronounced? It's hastiness. I don't know what the hell he said, but it was wrong.
Baxter, good luck, Sage, and Cove. I'll congratulate you when it's over. Baxter trusted you both enough to handle the rest and waved coyly over his shoulder as he left.
Yeah, whatever, bye, get out of here.
He had to handle more of the arrangements behind the scenes, so that you and Cove could have your spotlights. Then it was only you and him.
Oh my goodness. He's so cute. I can't wait to get this portrait, bro. I'm so ready for the portrait. I'm so ready.
And despite him being there all this time, seeing him like that, completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking. Cove Holden.
Actually...
The last name rung especially strongly in your mind, because it was a name you would share. Without a word, Cove lifted his arm for you to take. His blue eyes were crystal clear, you could see your future together sparkling within them. Seeing him like that, completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking.
You said that already. Am I crazy? Hold on. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
Cove bounced in his chair again, his hands clasped against the edge of the table.
Yeah.
His excitement was as palpable as your own.
Right here.
Cove, this is gonna be so good. Xavier grinned, pleased to see the two of you so happy.
We went through
Seeing
the
him like
breathtaking
that,
part already.
completely ready to marry you, was breathtaking.
Nah. It's Sage, call me Joe Holden. And Cove, call me Joe Holden. What is it? Hyphenated? We keep in both names. We keep in both. We're adding his onto mine, and he's also taking my last name, and I'm taking his. Because honestly, my last name sounds really cool, and I like his last name too. So, yeah.
You wrapped your arm with his gleefully, creating a secure link. The touch coaxed one of his precious wobbly smiles onto his face, though he still couldn't say a full word. An assistant joined in only briefly to hand you the delicately crafted white poppy and hydrangeas bouquet you had designed with Cove.
Yes!
You gratefully accepted it, taking hold of the base with your free hand and gripping tight.
Yeah.
The assistant made their exit, while you tried to relax by breathing in the gentle perfume of the bouquet. It was sweet and beautiful, reminding you of Cove.
Hell yeah, it does. Look at this man's little teeny weeny corsage. He's so tiny and cute.
You peeked at him from behind the pedals. He was watching you, too. While waiting in the wings, footsteps, the distant chatter of a crowd, the heavy breathing of your partner, and your own heartbeat pattered in your ears.
Not him heavy breathing. Is he gonna have an anxiety attack? Oh my gosh. Is that something I have to worry about? I don't. Cove, do you have anxiety? Please don't pass out. Please don't pass out while we're walking. I don't know if I can lift you. Oh my god.
Your eyes closed as you strained to hear the cue above the rest of the noise.
Oh my gosh.
But there was no need, you knew the moment had arrived when everything in the distance went silent. It even felt as though your heart froze in place, not wanting to be the one thing to interrupt. The first note was struck. Cove's hold on you tightened into a trembling squeeze.
Oh my gosh. He is gonna be sobbing the whole walk. He is such a sweetie. Oh my goodness. Oh.
And that was
boy.
all you needed to move forward. You began to walk forward with the love of your life.
Hell yeah.
He was right there by your side. His legs were shaking, too, and from the corner of your eyes you could see his cheeks were wet with heavy tears.
Stop. Oh my gosh. Bruh. Oh my goodness. Not me actually shedding tears for real, for real. Not me getting ready to faint before even he does. Bruh, the bottom option. What even the fuck is that? Oh my gosh. Stone stiff from nerves. Hell no. I could not stop my eyes from leaking at freaking Hichel's and fucking KB's wedding. I don't know why. Like, it was just like, I like in like an environment like that, I can understand why some people like going to weddings, because it's so nice to just see and like take in the atmosphere. It's like kind of crazy for real. Like, just watching the way that two people like look at each other during like the whole thing, and like hearing them like bleed their like hearts out to each other and like their vows and junk like that. Call me a faucet, because I was running, bro. Like, could not stop the tears. Like, my eyes hurt from how salty my shit was. Like, my tears just would not stop. It was terrible. But like, it was just so freaking beautiful. And now I get to have one, even if it's not one in real life, and that's okay. My actual wedding, I don't know if I'd cry. Like, I don't know if I would be like breaking down like full sobs, but I would definitely shed some tears from like happiness. Because obviously I'm gonna be in the midst of all of it, so of course I'm gonna be feeling it and junk, but like, he's already crying though. I feel like if I go with the sobbing, I feel like I'd be trying to outdo him somehow. And it's not a contest. That's not what we're doing. So obviously I'm gonna try and keep it together, but the tears are still gonna come regardless.
You
so.
smiled softly with tears gathering in the corners of your eyes.
He's so cute.
You watched as his mouth opened and closed, as if he was speaking to you. Though, if he was saying actual words, they were too quiet for you to hear.
He's so cute.
The crowd was full of joyous smiles and loving glances, but no one made a move to distract you or Cove away from each other. You wouldn't have noticed if they had tried. All you were aware of in the entire world was the wonderful man holding desperately onto your arm. And how, on one of your shared strides, his knee locked and Cove stumbled.
No! No! Oh my god. Oh no. Honey.
You rooted yourself in place, pulling up against Cove to keep him from falling completely. He leaned into you and you both swayed to the side, but he stayed on his feet.
Oh my goodness. Oh my lord.
The two of you straightened yourselves out and kept going. You were equally committed to reaching the end of the aisle.
Oh.
It may not have been graceful, but to you it was beautiful. And you made it? When you arrived, you loosened your hold on one another to change positions. You stood in front of him face to face. Softly, Cove's lips parted again, and finally, that time you knew what it was. Your name.
Sage!
My heart.
He lifted one hand to wipe tears from the crinkle of your eye. He brought his head lower to be closer to yours, still caressing your face even after those tears were gone.
This is so cute. Honestly, nah. Being even closer would just make me cry more. Nah, we crying more.
Brand new tears of joy fell, and you pressed your forehead against his.
Nah, we get new tears.
It couldn't be helped, the delicate way he held you only made your emotions swell more.
Exactly. You being all cute.
But you embraced it, nuzzling against the one person who impacted you in such a way. A hush came over the crowd as the justice of the peace began to speak. It was time. And then your maid of honor and Cove's best man stepped aside to where the floral garlands laid. Exuberantly, they picked them up and carried them over. Sage, thank you. Beaming, Lee gave you a nod. The flowers were delicately passed into your and Cove's hands. With a tiny sigh, you admired the blooms. Cove's eyebrows pinched together with intense focus. He held the flowers as carefully as he could without dropping them. Your heart pounded in your chest as you pivoted towards Cove. It accelerated, and your bottom lip trembled. But then he met your gaze and held it. The seriousness in his expression melted away and was replaced with affection. You put the garland on Cove first. Taking a steadying breath, you reached over and cloaked the garland in your hands around Cove. His smile softened further while your fingertips clung onto the petals for an additional few seconds. When your hands fell back to your sides, Cove returned the gesture. He gently rested the flowers over your shoulders.
This is super cute. I'm glad we added this actually.
The ceremony speech flowed over you. You listened to each word, but sentences faded out of focus the second they had passed. It was like having a dream, thoughts and feelings in your own mind held far more weight than anything outside of it. What did break through to you were Cove's bashful gestures, shuffling feet, quivering eyes, a palatable nervous energy that was barely swallowed down.
He's a freaking mess.
Not one single movement went by unnoticed. Justice of the peace, and now we will be holding the sand pouring ritual of the ceremony. At that, a couple of the people assisting with the wedding carried over a small table by the ends and placed it down in front of you and Cove. On it were 2 glass jars filled with different colored sand and a large, empty vase. Justice of the peace, please, select a jar.
Oh, I get to actually pick a jar, or?
You chose the jar closest to you and held it with both hands. Cove picked the other up and automatically held the glass up to his face to get a better look at the sand. Justice of the peace, we do this to symbolize our journeys in this world. Your lives led you to cross paths, and you found great joy at each and every intersection. Justice of the Peace, the jar each of you are holding represents the individual lives and choices you've made up until this very second. And with this pouring, the officiator gestured to the center vase, and you glanced at Cove instead. He gave you a reassuring nod, and you both began pouring the sand. Justice of the Peace, your journeys have intertwined, and like these grains of sand they cannot be separated the same way ever again. You watched the sand slowly mix together. It was mesmerizing, and it wasn't until Cove whimpered loudly next to you that you felt jolted back into the ceremony. Once every grain of sand was inside the vase, Cove set his jar back down. You brought your hand back closer to your middle, but you kept the jar firmly in your grasp. You peeked at Cove out of the corner of your eye and saw that he was watching you too. The ends of his mouth curved, drawing a light-hearted chuckle from you. The assistant stepped forward to move the table to the side so that the ceremony could continue smoothly. You placed your jar next to Cove's and tried to commit the side to memory. The table was delicately placed to the side of the arch. Your excitement bubbled in your chest at what would happen next. Before you could completely lose yourself in Cove's gaze, your attention crystallized in an instant. The Justice of the Peace had said vows. It struck Cove as well because his knees visibly locked from underneath him. In slow motion, he began to tip backwards.
Oh my goodness. This man, someone get him a chair. My goodness.
You instinctually grabbed onto his wrists, pulling on his sleeves in an attempt to keep your beloved from leaning further. Numerous sets of arms rose from all around, as both of your wedding parties poised themselves to catch Cove if he fell their way. Derek took it an extra step further, by actually stepping forward. He made certain he could get hold of his friend if he came down. Cove regained control of his legs and caught himself by anchoring back on the ball of his right foot. He kept that firmly planted. He was still so absorbed in the moment that the notion to be embarrassed by his near faint didn't take up any space in his mind. It was as if it hadn't happened, at least for Cove.
Oh goodness.
The Justice of the Peace, however, lifted a brow, assessing if your groom was physically capable of completing the ceremony.
Hey. Just a peace. Mind your business. Alright? He's a bundle of nerves. We're getting through this, and if it takes a little longer than it normally does, that's fucking okay. I just want to make sure he doesn't fall and break anything, alright?
For all his trembling, Cove stood stiffly, a pillar that could not be moved. It was enough to appease your Justice of the Peace into continuing.
Exactly. Continue your work.
Justice of the Peace, the couple has chosen to prepare their own vows and they will share them now. Cove Holden, please begin.
Well,
He took in a long breath through his nose. After so much build-up to the wedding and all the effort that it took to create it, this was the final hurdle for him articulating his deepest feelings about you out loud.
I actually wonder what he's gonna say. I'm kind of curious, actually.
Cove looked into your red eyes, searching for the words he needed. You waited, impressing as much encouragement as you could into your gaze. Finally, Cove began his vows.
Sage.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Cove, I had just moved to Sunset Bird with my dad. I saw you the first day I was there, and you changed everything in my life. Cove, you were the person I needed when I was so little and so lonely, and you still are the one I need right now. Every far-off image playing out in his mind brought further joy to Cove's features. He laughed nostalgically. Cove, you didn't let me get away with being selfish when I would act out.
Thank
Cove,
you.
I got to have a childhood.
Wait. Wait, I
Cove's
accidentally
expression
skipped
was
something.
pensive as he rounded the curb and got the car out onto the street.
Oh, okay.
A gentle rumbling
This
resonated
one
over
right
you
here.
from wheels rolling across
I double
tarmac.
clicked accidentally.
Cove. It dash. Cove. Cove.
Okay.
I got to have a childhood thanks to you. Cove. You didn't let me lose it all because I was sad. I had someone I could make those memories I cherish with.
Yeah.
Cove. Making sandcastles, watching the clouds, catching fireflies, and everything else. Cove. But a really big deal to me then was my dad's deal.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We were gonna bring that up. Just to fuck with him, I totally forgot.
Cove. How he offered you $20 to be friends with me and you told me the truth about it.
Yeah, he was not happy. He was not fucking happy about that. But they eventually got over it and now it's just a running gag.
Cove. Cove's voice broke completely. He swallowed heavily before trying again to get the words out. Cove. Felt really bad about that. I didn't even know why for sure.
Maybe.
Cove. Maybe I felt like nobody could ever really want to stay with someone like me. All I did was cause trouble, and my dad was proving me right. Cove. If he thought he had to pay someone to be with me, it must have been true.
Honey. But you know for a fact that that shit's not true.
Cove. You didn't leave, even though I tried to push you away then. And you've never left. I was wrong, I wasn't just a problem, and I could believe it because of you. Cove. But then puberty happened and so many things seemed harder than before.
Puberty'll do that to you.
Cove. I'm definitely glad you were around to help me survive it all. Cove. That was the time I started sneaking out to visit you through the window.
Are we just going down memory lane? These aren't even vows anymore, bro. This is just reminiscing at this point.
Cove. I wanted to be with you when I was happy, or when something was wrong. I couldn't stay away. Lucky for me, you didn't mind spending your days, or nights, in my company.
Nope.
With a light touch of wistfulness, Cove recalled experience after experience from those years. Cove. Going on trips together, big ones and small ones, just hanging around our houses and the neighborhood, talking about who we were as people, playing cards. As he continued to reminisce, he chuckled adorably.
Well,
Cove. And I started getting closer with your family too, well, at least your mom's. Elizabeth wasn't exactly interested in being good friends when we were teens. Cove. I really appreciate that you always put up with my dad and his wild plans, by the way.
I remember.
I can still remember how badly I wanted to be grown up as an awkward tween, then suddenly, we graduated high school and it really was time to be an adult. Cove. Getting my first job, taking my first long drive without parents, accepting how small our little town was in the grand scheme of things. Cove. Just trying to figure out what I was even going to do with my life. Cove. I was lost, and all I wanted was to make sure I didn't lose what mattered when things had to change, most of all you. Cove. You were my special someone.
Stop. Hold on. Wait. I gotta take it. I gotta take a picture of that one actually. Hold on. I have to. It's the law. Okay. It's the law. Don't argue with me. Just I'm telling you, it's the law. Don't argue with me. Argue with your mom. It's the law.
Cove. You were the first person I was able to open up to about my sexuality, when I finally knew for sure what that was. Cove. And you were the one who helped me keep it together when I was overthinking things. His speech of all that he treasured about you went on and on in an uninterrupted stream. He couldn't stop himself. Cove, you'd let me have tastes of your food and you always gave the best gifts. Cove, you love me even though I'm not a cool merman who could take you on a magical adventure.
Thanks for
Cove,
waiting for me.
And you lived with how long it took for me to be able to do anything romantic.
That's fine.
Cove, I was feeling a lot, and didn't do great at managing it. But I was so clingy too. I never wanted to be apart then. Cove, I think I'm a little more of a big boy about it now. Maybe.
Just a little.
Cove, you just. He at long last stopped to breath, before his emotion-driven attempt to convey himself continued in full force. Cove, you make me happy in ways no one else ever could. Cove, and, well, a lot has happened, huh? Cove, we're definitely adults, I fell in love with you, we're at our own wedding.
It's
Cove,
okay.
we made it through it all. All the months and months growing up and through making this day happen. Cove, you're such an admirable human being. Cove, I don't want to try to imagine how many tears you've wiped away for me in all these years. Cove, you helped me have the confidence to grow into a man, and you can still make me feel like a kid again. Cove, with you, nothing ever really ends, it just begins again in a new way. Cove, and, basically, what I'm trying to say is, no matter how hard I try I can never thank you enough for being mine and letting me be yours.
Wait. Wait. That line kind of hit though. Oh, I'm actually getting married, y'all. I love him.
Cove wept heavily, no longer able to stay above the wave of emotions that opening himself up so fully had wrought.
I love
Cove,
you.
I love you, so much, Sage. And he futilely wiped a sleeve against his eyes. Every tear the fabric caught was immediately replaced. Cove, those are my vows. I don't know how you're supposed to end them.
That's okay.
Cove, I hope you'll marry me.
You mean, bro? If I wasn't gonna marry you, I wouldn't have showed up. You're fucking stuck with me. What the hell? Not being stunned.
You couldn't stand how sweet he was.
Hold on, let me save split just in case.
Sage Kamajo.
I highly doubt
say-
that there would
say-
be a way to
say-
spoil the moment right about
say-
now, but I'm not gonna leave it up to chance.
You couldn't stand how sweet he was.
But this would be my actual reaction.
And your
Wait.
eventually, his eyes let
Okay. Not me squinting at him. Like, why would you say that? Like, I'm not sobbing. I'd be crying too, cause like, I'm a sucker for romance, bro. If someone is like not crying out per se, but if someone is like just laying their heart on the line and just like professing their love, bro, nah, I'm in tears. Especially if it's like for me. I don't think I've ever really had that happen because I've never been married before. But like, if it were to happen, bro, I'm crying.
and you were crying too.
I would be crying. like heavily, just about sobbing. I can just about guarantee.
Justice of the peace, thank you, Cove. Sage, you may say yours. The justice of the peace had all but disappeared from your mind, all that you had been aware of was Cove. But that request couldn't be ignored.
Sure, it could. I could just stand here and just stare at him. And everyone's just going to be like standing there awkwardly.
Now you would have to take on the endeavor of explaining everything Cove was to you and everything he'd been to you throughout knowing him almost your entire life.
True.
You chose to say.
Honestly, let me really think over my choices. And I did have that save split in case I don't really like how I end up putting all this together. But honestly, I feel like it would make the most sense to thank him, because if he hadn't have made some of the choices he made when he were younger, we probably wouldn't have become friends. We wouldn't have stayed friends. We wouldn't have started dating. And we definitely wouldn't have gotten engaged. And we also would not be getting married. So, yeah.
I want to thank you for helping me feel comfortable in my body.
For sharing your parents?
For always thinking that I was worth a gold medal. Sage, even back when we were kids. For real.
Wait. I keep double.
Cove's yeah wasn't directed at anything in particular. He was grasping to fill space, to buy time while he sorted his thoughts. Cove, we're getting married.
We're definitely heavy on the loving me for me, honestly.
For teaching me how to serve. Sage, it was so much fun. For helping me feel comfortable in my body. Sage, you've always been able to reassure me about that. For sharing your parents. Sage, they're a real perk of being with you. And for remembering things about me, even stuff that wouldn't matter to anyone else. For being there for me when I found out about my biological parents. Sage, that was important, and I'll never forget your support then. For giving me so many piggyback rides. Sage, the Cove Express is the best form of transportation. For supporting me when I got into college. Sage, it was so encouraging to have you rooting for me. For remembering things about me, even stuff that wouldn't matter to anyone else. Sage, it matters a lot to me. And besides that, I adore.
I wonder if I'll be able to do all three. But we'll see.
How you rub your arm when you're nervous. How clingy you are. How excited you get about food. The way you're somehow always a bit of a mess.
That you've been such a beach bum ever since you were born. What type of compliment is that?
How easy.
Bruh.
That adorable way you text. That you're such a troublemaker. That you've been such a. Your laugh, and your smile. The way you angrily sip at your drinks. How you rub your arm when you're nervous. How easy you are to fluster. The way you're somehow always a bit of a mess. The way you angrily sip at your drink. That you're so open with your emotions. The awkward way you try flirting. Your wavy eyebrows. The way you...
I mean, honestly, I think his eyebrows are really cute, so yeah.
And you simply in general.
Oh, I still have to do all of them. Oh no, I don't actually. Okay.
I promise. To never stop trying to make you happy. Auto forward. To still love you even as we both continue to grow and change. To wait as long as you need for everything. To wipe your tears when they fall. To comfort you when your anxieties make you scared. To get you a house directly on the beach someday. To never stop trying to make you happy. To cherish everything you've given me. To let you have joint ownership of my shell collection. To always leave a window open for you.
Window open. Yeah.
To continue letting you have tastes of my food. To let you have joint ownership of my shell collection. To get you a house directly on the beach someday. To cherish everything you've given me. To go along with your spontaneous dawn adventures. To wear an anklet on request whenever you want.
He thought I forgot.
To cherish everything you've given me. And along with that, Cove's blush had crept all the way to his neck after you let yourself get carried away listing every little detail about him that charmed you.
I mean, it's my husband. My husband. So, he should have expected this. Honestly,
No. It's okay. Thank yous for coming to the screen. Make sure you have some dimber and junk, and that you drink a little water before you go sleep. So that way you'll be a little hydrated before sleepies.
I'm caught between calling him my crybaby and him being wonderful because he's technically both.
I don't know. But thank yous for coming to the screen.
If you want to come back to it later on, you know it'll be here.
But I love you too. And I love Cole, because that's my husband.
You're my beloved crybaby. And I know we were meant to be together. And you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Cove, oh my god. Cove covered his face with trembling hands. He was laughing, crying, and all around about to pass out again.
No! Did I overdo it?
Your justice of the peace nodded contently, accepting those vows as your sworn oath to your very nearly husband. Justice of the peace, Cove Holden, do you take Sage Kamajo to be your lawful wedded wife? He let his hands fall, ready to face you directly. Cove's shaking, dripping wet eyes stays locked to yours. And, with the confidence of a man who'd been waiting for this moment for years, he answered with complete surety.
I do.
Cove, I do. It was absolutely heart-stopping, but your turn to respond had come. Justice of the peace, and do you, Sage Kamajo, take Cove Holden to be your lawful wedded husband?
Hell yeah, Your Honor. What he said. What?
I do. Cove's smile was radiant, and his tears were constant. You'd sincerely made him happier than anything ever had. Lee and Cliff came up to yours and Cove's sides once more. This time they brought the boxes containing your wedding bands. Cove's hands shook as he reached for the tiny treasure chest. With a focused furrow to his brow, he accepted the black ring, and the blue sapphires sparkled gorgeously in the light. You gladly offered your hand to Cove. He cradled it gently in one of his own.
Watch him drop the ring. Because he's so nervous.
For a few seconds all he could do was stare at your skin. Cove was so still for a moment, but then he used his free hand to bring the band towards your fingertip. He carefully slid the ring to its proper place on your finger.
Hey.
Your gaze locked onto it, utterly amazed.
Dang, that ring do look kind of nice.
Swallowing thickly, Cove raised his hand out for you. You held it in return and brushed your thumb across his palm. It was your turn. With that, you retrieved the matching ring from its box. It slid onto Cove's finger beautifully. He gasped under his breath, fixating on the ring. You tenderly squeezed his hand, and Cove finally met your eyes again. He held your gaze with an electrifying stare. You were in awe of the whole moment. Justice of the peace, then by the power vested in me by the state of California, I pronounce you husband and wife.
Hell yeah.
Justice of the peace, you can now kiss. Cove's knees may have started knocking together once more, but his gaze was nothing but eager.
Honestly, it's my wedding. I'm allowed to be extra.
You threw yourself into Cove's arms to kiss passionately.
He was probably gonna fall over anyway, so. Actually, hold on. Hold on.
Save
Just in case. Let me just.
You threw yourself into Cove's arms to kiss passionately. Waiting even a second longer was impossible. You sprang forward like a shot and tangled yourself around him. Your husband stumbled, but was able to keep proper hold of you, as you knew he would. Your lips connected with Cove's in an urgent expression of your love for him. He returned the kiss just as needily. You used a thumb to carefully push away the tears still clinging to his eyelashes. The beautiful flowers of the garlands tickled against your skin as Cove's body pressed it up against you. After, your faces shifted away just a hair's breadth so you could see one another fully. His expression was wholly adoring, and you could still feel his warmth lingering. The crowd erupted with cheers and applause around you. Giddy, you ducked your head towards Cove's shoulder and laughed. Peeking over at Cove, you realized that he was barely paying any attention to the jubilance around you both. Instead, his gaze was solely fixated on you. He scooped you into his arms. The corner of his mouth pulled into a bent smile, and then Cove swept you off your feet. You giggled while he secured his hold on you.
he might be weak on his feet by himself, but I know for a fact he would never drop me. So I have 100% full faith in my husband. So.
Beaming, you loosely wrapped your arms around his neck. His skin reddened, and you took the opportunity to rest a hand on his cheek and plant a kiss on the other one. You went down the aisle gleefully. As you passed by your friends and family, you caught several thumbs up, proud nods, and cheery waves. Some were even still clapping. Sniffling, your vision threatened to fill with tears after witnessing more than a handful of people dabbing their eyes with tissues. When you briefly came close enough to Mr. Holden, he patted Cove on the shoulder. Despite his weepy expression, you could tell that he had the greatest pride for his son. Thank you. You waved at everyone. You tried your very best to give most of your guests attention. It meant a lot to you that they were here to support you and Cove. After leaving the ceremony in late afternoon, it was time for wedding photos. You and Cove met up with the wedding party and the photographer while the other guests headed over to the reception spot. The excursion was filled with fun and laughter while the photographer set out to get the ideal shots. Cove lovingly held your face, not afraid to show his affection in front of the camera for a change. His thumb brushed lightly across your cheek and then he pressed his forehead to yours. His breath was warm on your skin, and you closed your eyes shut to relish in his love. When he pulled away, you were speechless. But you also had a feeling that was going to be one of the best shots of the lot. When the sun began to set about an hour later, you knew it was time to rejoin with everyone else. And so, you eagerly got back into the car again to finally see the second location. You and Cove entered through the main doors and into the reception space. There your friends and family were patiently waiting for this moment. The room filled with familiar cheers, whistles, and applause at your arrival. As the noise lessened, you began to hear various calls of congrats and welcome backs. The love emanating from your friends and family was palpable. Baxter made his way to the center of the room and began to gesture people back. The rest of the staff followed his lead and made space in the crowd. When the path ahead cleared out, you took a deep breath. It was time. The beginning note of your first dance song played. You heard a few of the guests speak in hushed tones, anticipation rising as the melody kicked in. It was slow-paced. Cove met your eyes, as ready as he could be, and you took his hands. You heard the high-pitched whine of a microphone and saw Baxter smiling. Baxter, and now, the couple will have their first dance.
This man announcer and MC now?
While your legs were shaking from all the acute emotions still lingering from the ceremony, your joy from getting to dance with your husband gave you the strength to make your way to the dance floor. Cove did his best to remember the motions that were meant to go with the rhythm of the track. His long, deliberate steps were very careful to not land anywhere near your toes. Your moves were amazing. You were able to perform fine. Your moves were amazing.
Because I'm a good dancer. See?
Step. Step. Turn. Step. You were one with the music and your routine was on fire. You felt absolutely alive. Your dancing was so good that you were able to cover for Cove's struggles. He laughed as you swept up and down the floor, both of you keeping up with the tempo.
It kind of sounds like we're dancing faster than slow, but hey.
The two of you gallivanted across the floor, hearts pounding and expressions bright. Eventually, Cove was able to get in the flow. His body relaxed and you could see the confidence slowly ease into him. Softly, he took a moment to speak to you. Cove, this is the first moment to ourselves since we've arrived.
right?
Cove clearly was grateful for the chance to finally talk to you. Cove, you're beautiful. No one is more lovely than you. He truly looked divine in his suit.
He did. It's still not a corset vest, but listen, yeah, that's still a nice vest.
Cove flushed a light rosy pink and beamed at you. This makes me think of the Orca fundraiser dinner. Cove's expression became wistful with old memories.
Me
Cove,
too.
I was thinking of that too. Cove, I remember exactly how it felt, dancing with you years ago. I had a lot of hopes then. Cove, I wanted it to last forever, but I also desperately wanted to skip ahead so that I'd know what things would be like for us in the future. Cove, and now actually we're here. We made it. Cove sighed dreamily as he looked into your eyes. Cove, thank God the ceremony is over and we can just be married now. Cove, not that the wedding is bad.
Nice.
He winced as soon as he realized how his words sounded. He shook his head.
Oh my goodness.
Cove, I just kept thinking that I'd ruin something or something terrible would happen. Cove, at this point a truck full of apples could come through and destroy dinner and I wouldn't care. You shook your head affectionately. Your silly husband, he was cute. Then the music reached a bridge of the song with complex choreography. Both of you had to focus more on the dance. That stopped your conversation in its tracks. The two of you became absorbed into dancing once more as the song's end grew closer and closer. The final note was struck and
Me dipping him with his tall ass. Hell no. We both would be on the floor.
the dance ended with Cove dipping you.
If I'm getting dipped, that means I can get kissed. So. Dip me like a chip, baby.
Cove's dip was slightly awkward due to the height difference between you two. He had to arch his back to get you down lower than you already were compared to him.
Shut up, I know I'm short. Damn.
He made it work though.
Good.
Cove's lips brushed over your ear. Cove, you're a really good partner. Your face felt hot, and it wasn't only from the dancing. You heard a clap that steadily transformed into wild applause. Turning to face the crowd, you looked over your friends and family cheering. You curtsied. You gracefully curtsied to your audience, keeping your back straight and knees low. The clapping got louder. Tilting your head back to your husband, you caught his proud smile. Cove continued to watch you rather than switching his attention to the guests.
He's so in love with me, like.
He twisted his wedding band bashfully around his finger. With the first dance done, you both left the open floor to join the others and properly greet your seated guests. Cove offered you his arm to take once more.
Why would I not take his arm if he offered it to me? What?
You took hold of his arm.
What?
Your arm wrapped around his, fitting as snugly together as matching pieces of a puzzle. It was a hold that could not easily be broken. Physically and legally linked to the other, you and Cove went forward as one. After only a few strides, you'd arrived at the nearest table in the arrangement. It had close family all the way around, including your mom and Ma. The two had scooted their chairs closer and were eagerly whispering to one another, trading words of excitement back and forth. Feeling awkward about having to interrupt, though realizing there's no reason to feel that way, Cove cleared his throat to announce your and his presence.
Hey!
Cove, hi. Snapping out of their private fervor, your parents turned the enthusiasm straight towards the two of you. You went between them to. You waved at them. Mom,
Hello.
kiddos. It's great to finally get to talk to you today. Ma folded her hands together on the tabletop daintily and followed Mom with her own greeting. Ma, welcome, it's so good to have you here at the reception now. Sage, thank you. Cove, yeah, thank you. Ma,
Of course.
of course. Mom, the ceremony was a memorable one. Those vows, huh. Mom, you also nailed the theming with that venue. Ma, MHM, it was truly unforgettable. Sage, it's nice you noticed. I really put my heart into this. Hearing people actually discuss the wedding as a real event, Cove became tongue-tied. Your Ma watched over the both of you with a gaze as doting as it was knowing.
Have
Ma,
fun.
have fun greeting everyone else. We'll be here if you need us. Mom, Lonnie's right, we can entertain ourselves while you're busy with your big day. I appreciate everything. Ma, you're welcome, but we're happy to. Cove, thanks again, moms. Ma's fingers squeezed together even more tightly, a visual representation of the restraint she was exerting not to cheer inappropriately loudly. While Ma attempted to not spook Cove after his tepid attempt to use the new title, Mom had no qualms saying something embarrassing. Mom, woohoo, we got upgraded. It's about time. Ma, Pam. Cove's gaze immediately dropped to his feet and his near constant flush from the day reappeared. You gave your husband a reassuring pat on the arm, proud and pleased at his braveness. Cove, okay, bye.
He's like, okay, you're being extra. I'm leaving.
Cove scuttled off, needing an escape, and you gave your parents a wave as you stuck by him. Ma, goodbye. Mom, good luck out there. Your and Cove's moms took their glasses of wine in hand and clinked them together celebratorily. Ma, to Sage and Cove. Mom, to Sage and Cove. As matching images of each other, they slipped the drink in good cheer. Located at the same table were Cove's parents. They were taking it easy, until Cliff noticed you and Cove had eyes on him.
Yeah, what you wearing, Pop? What you got on, Pop? Let me see.
His grin ramped up to 1000 watts.
Oh, jeez.
Hey!
Hey. It's our local celebrities of the day.
I want to see what Kara's dress is, too.
Cliff folded his arms, self-satisfied.
That was a cheesy joke, by the way, Cliff, but it's okay.
Cliff, the wedding's all been going to plan, I'm pretty sure. But I'll keep watch still, and if there's anything else I can do, just give me a shout. Cove brightened in a similar way. His tone was full of affection for his father. Cove, hi Dad, and thanks. You walked around the table to give him a hug. You clapped his back happily. You walked around the table to give him a hug. It was tricky to weave through the space, but you were able to get in arm's reach of Cliff. He opened up his arms wide for you and then squeezed you back. Soon you had to get out from behind chairs and other guests, so you let Cliff go and nudged your way over to Cove again. Cliff slyly winked, waving you and Cove off.
Right,
Cliff,
right.
I don't have to hug you, everyone wants to see you. Cove, okay, see you later. Sage, bye dad. Your very own dad beamed with joy. Cliff, of course. Of course. I don't know how I ended with 2 kids as good as you. Cliff surveyed his 2 children proudly with his chest puffed out. Cliff, I have to say, well, actually, I'll say it a little later. You'll have to wait for my big speech.
Oh, Lord.
Cove, here it comes. Get ready, Sage.
Ooh, I see the ring actually on his model.
Cliff,
Come on.
come on sport, it's gonna be great. Now go on. I love you. Cliff, I love you, too. Both of you. Then, finally, you rounded the table's edge and reached the side where Kyra sat. She was patiently sipping at a chilled cup of water, placing it down when she noted it was time for the meet and greet with the 2 of you.
Hey.
Cove, hey mom. Kyra, hello babies.
Oh, I like her dress. Her dress is nice.
You leaned over to give her a hug. It took some stretching, but you were able to gain enough access to Kyra's space in order to give her a solid hug. She put her arms around your shoulders gladly. You shared that affectionate touch for a moment and then shifted yourself back up.
Thanks.
Cove, thanks for coming, it's really nice to see you. Kyra, it's fantastic to be here. This has been wonderful. Kyra, also, that was a marvelous dance. Such an incredible way to make an entrance. Kyra, and I'm impressed you found this place. Talk about the perfect local for my little ocean man. I like the fish. Cove kicked the tip of his shiny shoes at nothing in particular and his shoulders shifted from side to side shyly. Cove was forever incapable of seeming like a full-grown man in front of his mom. Kyra brows bent as she looked on at him adoringly. But then she shut her eyes and brought out more energy. Kyra,
See you soon.
I'll see the 2 of you again soon. You should go explore the rest of your exquisite reception. Cove, oh alright. We, probably should do that. Bye. Bye mom. She froze for a split second. Her hand flew to her mouth as her gaze landed back on you. Slowly, she lowered it, revealing the widest smile you'd ever seen on her face. In her gentlest tone, Kyra cooed. Kyra, goodbye baby. Cove was positively melting from happiness seeing you and your shared mom speak to one another that way. You're wonderful, Mom 3. Kyra, and so are you. Then you had to continue on to the next table in the seating arrangement. There were still guests waiting to see the both of you. You had a pleasant conversation with your aunt and uncle on Mom's side. They couldn't have been more pleased that you had found someone who made you as happy as Cove did. Right by was their daughter, your cousin, as well as your older sister. They were throwing looks, not so subtly waiting to speak their piece, but didn't interrupt your chat with other family. But when it was officially their turn, the ladies placed down glasses of juice and put on matching curved smiles.
I guess my sister's dress is alright. Now, Lee's dress? Lee's dress is banging. I like her dress. Elizabeth. You know what? I ain't even gonna say it. You thought you were eating with this, but honestly, I think you could have did better.
Cove shifted on his feet embarrassedly. They didn't even need to say anything. You shook your head and smirked affectionately. The two of them were always ready for trouble. Liz, the day went by so fast. It's hard to believe it's evening and this is the first time we've been able to talk directly. Lee, totally, everything went incredibly. Lee, you're both beautiful and it was just touching and amazing and, perfect. Cove laughed airily. Lee's energy levels were as high as ever. Cove, hello to you, too. Lee chimed up once more, placing a hand to her forehead and leaning against Liz for support. Lee, it's so romantic how you got married on the hill where you met. Cove, oh. I didn't even know you knew that. Only our parents were there. Liz, it's pretty common Kamajo family lore. I also know that's where you met, and so did half the rest of the crowd. Cove tilted his head bashfully, realizing it was probably a little dumb to not realize other people had found out about that. Cove, well, that makes sense. Liz, MHM. You must be relieved there were no accidental drownings with those waterworks going off during the ceremony.
You're funny.
Lee couldn't suppress a snicker. Cove, on the other hand, pouted indignantly. Liz, to be serious for a moment, you sensitive souls did very well with those vows. Cove, thanks for all that, and everything. It was nice to see you. Lee, you're welcome. Liz,
You're welcome.
Yes, you are welcome. And thanks for coming to see us on your wedding tour. Cove, bye. See you soon. I'm so glad you're my family. Liz, the feeling's mutual. With everyone at that spot properly greeted, you and your husband began to stroll along to the next one. One of the more boisterous tables had Derek, Terry, and Miranda huddled together. They were celebrating wholeheartedly.
Y'all getting drunk?
Cove, hi everybody. That pleasant greeting was paired with a little wave. Your friends turned in unison after realizing you were there. Then the trio of buddies lifted cups full of juice in cheers to you and Cove.
What's
Derek,
up?
sup, and congratulations. Miranda,
Thanks.
hi. Thank you for letting us come. Terry, hey. Congrats you too. You held out. You grinned at the group. Smiles all around greeted you back. Derek, I have gotta say what a nice event this is. It's so high class. Cove shyly basked in the affection of his closest friends, sucking it up like a delicate sapling in the sunshine. Cove, thanks, and thanks for coming. Derek, come on, dude. I wouldn't have missed it. Terry, we had to be. Cove and Sage are having their wedding. It's momentous. Miranda, we're really enjoying the reception. Don't worry about us if you have to go do important bride and groom stuff. Cove, I appreciate that. It's weird to say, but we do have important bride and groom stuff to do today. Sage, we're greeting all the guests right now. Cove, we'll see you later, though.
Bye.
Miranda, okay, bye.
See
Terry,
you later.
Safe travels. Derek, enjoy yourselves. I'm so glad we met. I'm so glad we met. Miranda and Derek awed as Terry wiped a dramatic, imaginary tear from his eye. Terry, thanks, Sage.
I was kind of lying about you, Terry. I still think you're weird.
Cove skipped ahead, buoyed by the brief, but fun interaction, and you went right along with him. Table to table, you continued to greet each attendee of your wedding. From family who flew in from Hawaii to be there, to those who lived right by your place, you appreciated everyone who took the time to come celebrate this day. There was so much love to go around, every conversation was just as enjoyable as the last. The one person you hadn't seen during your rounds made himself known when Baxter's voice echoed out through the space, amplified by a microphone.
Oh Lord.
Baxter, good evening. Thank you all for attending the wedding of Sage and Cove Comet Joe Holden. Baxter,
Exciting.
we will now begin the bouquet toss. A smattering of applause and light murmurs followed the announcement. Baxter let that settle before continuing. Baxter, Cove, Sage, please come to the open area in the center. Anyone who wants to play, can. You and your husband eagerly obliged to start the tradition, going over to stand alone on the cleared floor. But it wasn't for long.
So I think what I'm going to do, because it's getting a little late, and I probably have a good bit more I have to get through. I'm going to end the stream after the bouquet toss, before we get into the nitty gritty or anything else afterwards. So let's go ahead and keep on going.
Lee hopped out of her seat right away, taking Liz by the arm to bring her along for the ride. Your sister wasn't as impossibly excited as your cousin, but she was intrigued. Miranda rose to her feet as well, her boyfriend pumping her up to win the whole walkover. She giggled bashfully and waved at Terry while waiting in the forming crowd. Derek decided to get in on things as well, grinning amusedly among the rest of the players.
Honestly, out of everyone in the crowd, I not even low-key, I high-key want Derek to catch it.
Cairo looked on at the group, taking a second to consider it, but ultimately she became another member of the game. She strolled over to the collection of younger folks and called out for Cliff to join with her. Kyra, come on, don't be such a snore. He shook his head, sinking lower into the chair. Lee, Miranda, Kyra, and Liz all began to wave and jump, encouraging Cliff. Terry spoke up from the next table over.
Not that bullying him into playing.
Terry, you can do it, man.
Felt like they're all trying to bully him into playing.
Right,
Cliff,
right.
all right, all right. He used the edge of the table to push out his chair and stood up. The ladies cheered as Cliff strode towards the crowd. Your moms giggled, leaned closer together, and whispered amongst one another. They were eager to be audience members to the spectacle. And no one else motioned to join, so Baxter kept things moving. Baxter, thank you for grouping up in such a timely manner. We've got a wonderful crowd for this. Baxter, now, keep your eyes on Sage, she will be tossing the bouquet in only a moment. Baxter, Sage, all you need to do is look the other way and throw the bouquet to the awaiting audience. Cove can stand by. As instructed, you turned your back to the crowd. Cove took his place in front of you. His shoulders were drawn in out of a sympathetic tenseness for your task. Cove, they're definitely ready for you, Sage.
Okay.
Sage, they better be prepared.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure this aquarium got some high ass ceilings. I would toss that shit as high as I could.
The room became silent as you wound up for the toss. You paused and then. You tossed it as high as you could.
Yup.
A flurry of heel clattering, jewelry clinking, and light-hearted yells burst into the space.
Like literally in real life, if I have a good amount of space that I can throw my bouquet under, I'm throwing it high.
The bouquet would land in seconds and the crowd was vying for that prize.
Yup.
The clamor rapidly reached its peak volume with nearly everyone in the crowd either gasping or cheering. The game had ended. You took a glance over your shoulder to see what the results were.
Is it Derek?
And
Derek?
your big sister was handling a bouquet and tapping the end of it satisfied against her other palm. She looked at every other person in the crowd with a smirk.
Alright, fine.
Nice
Liz,
try.
Nice try, but I win. You were positive she didn't care about the meaning of catching a bouquet, it was purely about the victory of the catch.
True.
Your planner took to the mic again to make the results official.
Bravo.
Baxter, stunning work by our winner, Liz.
Dang, that's not who I was aiming for. Literally.
Damn. There was laughter all around. Your guests were good sports. As ever, Baxter was able to manage the flow of the day on your behalf. He took the mic and addressed the assembled crowd, his clear voice resonating through every speaker. Baxter, please could everyone return to the seating area for our next event. Baxter, the couple has arranged a special dance between themselves and the parents of the bride and groom. Sage Kamajo. Return to menu. Our live, 1.7.1. Self-voicing disabled.
Alrighty. So. I'm gonna go ahead and end scream here. That was a mighty eventful, yeah? And yeah. Depending on how I'm feeling when I get in from work tomorrow, I might just go ahead and finish up the DLC. Not to rush and get it over with or anything, but just so that I can play something else on Saturday and it not be too of the same game back to back. Even though I've kind of been doing that lately and I didn't really care. But I also don't want to wait 2 days to play again, so I'm not. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go. If you haven't already, feel free to hit the description of this video so that way you can join us in the Discord, where you can send memes, chat with peeps. Wait, no, I said that backwards. Where you can participate in polls, chat with peeps, and have an all-around good old time. Also, definitely feel free to share this cute as fuck stream with anybody who's just looking for a little cute little pick me up. Okay, because this shit, it was so fucking cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. But yes, let me reel it in a little bit. But yes. I'm also very sleepy. But yes. Join the Discord, hit the description. As an added bonus, don't forget to turn on your notifications so that way you know when the bonus stream starts, if I decide to do a bonus stream. And or you'll most likely get notifications for the regular streams as well, as long as the bell is completely colored in and doesn't look hollow in the middle like somebody dug out its guts. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. On your way out, Don't forget to leave your likes at the door. And I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Most likely be tomorrow. Most likely be tomorrow. But we gonna see. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I gotta get ready for sleepies. And I'm gonna see you guys soon. Okay? Okay, bye.